Sorry. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about the arrows in this. There are 5 flower arrows, right? We talk about 5 flower arrows, and then we talked quite extensively about 5. Why 5? Do you guys remember that?
5 indriya,
5.
5 senses, 5 matras, 5 elements.
So there's many what to use from your senses, from your karmendriya towards this offering, towards this sadhana. What to bring into your entire focus. So it can be many things, different interpretations of this 5 are there all over. Different writers address these 5 as different things. But literally, in terms of the 5 flowers, they're very specific flowers. You want to write these down. It is lotus, the second flower is Rakta Kairava in Sanskrit.
Rakta?
Balsam Kairava. We call it, our common name is balsam. You've seen those pink flowers in bunches, tall bushes, pink flowers.
The Japanese blossoms. Cherry blossom.
Not cherry blossoms. India, we're talking about India. Yeah. You know these flowers? Very common in India.
Yeah.
So, Rakta Kairava, lotus, Indivara. Indivara is blue lotus. Ambra. Ambra is mango flower. Flowers on the mango tree. And Kalhara or Kalhara, either ways. This is the water lily. Water lily is slightly different from lotus. And if you want to understand those differences, you want to read up about flowers a little. When you look at flowers, each flower has its own essence. Some are very hardy, like the pink one I just showed you. Which one was that?
Rakta Kairava, the balsam.
Balsam. In common language, we call it balsam. Yeah. I think English name is slightly different. What's the English name?
Isn't it bougainvillea?
Sorry?
Isn't it bougainvillea? Isn't this the one?
It's not bougainvillea. You didn't see it properly. I'll show you again. This is not bougainvillea, beta. You know this flower. This is a very common Indian flower. Yeah. This is not bougainvillea.
No. This is not.
Sure.
Oleander. Miriam oleander. So 5 flowers: mango flower, lotus, easy to remember, blue lotus, water lily, and Rakta Kairava. These are the 5 arrows. The 5 flower arrows, aside from all of these senses and tanmatras and indriyas and elements, if we leave that understanding aside, I think I explained it extensively in the last class. From a sadhana perspective, the 5 flowers are also supposed to vanquish or elevate the human being from Maya. Yeah. 5 flowers represent excitement, madness, confusion, stimulation, and destruction. Excitement, madness, confusion, stimulation, and destruction. So Maya needs to be destroyed, and you can look at it from both perspectives. You can look at it that as when there is excitement, we know we should not be excited. Say, I bought something new, I'm really excited. But that is all falsehood, right? That is Maya. You don't need to be excited. This is not a true achievement of human being. So we can say that the goddess uses the arrow when we express these various emotions or states of being which are not rooted in truth. Right? Look at it again. Excitement, totally not rooted in truth. We're excited when we're having a party, we're excited when we wear a new dress, we're excited when we are meeting some very interesting people. None of this is a big achievement. Confusion. Yeah. You don't know what to wear, you don't know what to eat, you don't know where to go, you don't know what to do. Even this confusion is not reflection or reflective of the true state of the human being. Stimulation, sexual stimulation, mental stimulation, emotional stimulation, monetary stimulation. Any of these are also not the truth that need to be pursued. And destruction, when we break our relationship, when we break our heart, when we leave something behind, in terms of, oh, it's finished its life, or we've outgrown it. Even that is not true outgrowing or true leaving of anything or true vanquishing of anything. And madness. Madness is almost like, here, imagine it like headiness, where you're not being able to make sense of things. This is different from confusion because this is almost like intoxication. Yes. The senses are going haywire. Not confusion, where the mind is not able to decide, but madness is different from confusion because the senses are going haywire. Like if you're in love, everything seems nicer. The world has remained the same, nothing has changed. But you're looking at the same movie characters, you're reading the same books, but everything is now relatable. Everything is seeming different. So in madness, the senses give you wrong signals. In confusion, your mind is unable to process things properly. So one aspect can be that all of these various states of human being or human behavior can be destroyed by these 5 arrows, and therefore the man can be released from Maya, because when he stops seeing untrue, he starts seeing the truth. The other way to look at it is that when a human being becomes lazy on the path of sadhana, on the path of realizing the truth, these are elements that are introduced by the goddess in the human realm, so that the person starts working towards the right goal. Okay, 2 ways to look at it. So, for example, if you have become lazy and if you have lost interest in something, excitement can be introduced so that you start again your pursuit. If you have become very sure of what you know, confusion can be introduced so that your ego doesn't become very large and you're able to come down and understand what you're trying to achieve without the ego. Stimulation, much like excitement, very much like madness and confusion, excitement is sensory and stimulation is mental. Just like madness is sensory and confusion is mental. And destruction. Same thing, you get too attached to something, then destruction can come and relieve you of that attachment. So you can look at the 5 flowers in 2 different fashions. One is the 5 veils of Maya. Or the 5 tools to accelerate sadhana so that the individual is able to rise above Maya. Does that make sense? Either it is the 5 veils of Maya, which when the goddess removes, you are able to see the truth, or they can be the 5 tools that can be used to accelerate an individual sadhana to reach the truth. Does that make sense? Do you understand that? No?
Yeah.
या ऊपर से गया कुछ
Hey, it's very beautiful.
Did you catch some? A little?
Yeah.
Of course, all the other 5 also remain true. The 5 senses, the 5 tanmatras, the 5 indriyas, karmindriya, jnanindriya, activation of all of those, control of all of those. That also remains true. So if we were just expounding 5 arrows, we could talk for 5 days about 5 arrows, right? In all these different formats. Angela has done this. Haven't you done the Karmendriya, Jnanendriya extensively once?
Yeah.
I'm not asking you any question, but you've done
No,
it,
no,
right?
I know. I've done it with you. Yeah.
So it's very, very beautiful. Also, I've been doing some study recently in the space of flowers, just flowers. And every single flower has very therapeutic properties. And I haven't personally studied these flowers. The easiest one to study probably will be which one?
Rose.
Rose? No, of these 5, which one would be the easiest to access? Come on.
Lotus.
Huh?
Lotus.
Okay.
The oleander, right? The Rakta
Also,
balsam, whatever. Yeah.
That is the easiest one to access. So I've been doing some study on flowers, and rose, by the way, is great for losing weight.
Really?
Did you know? If you just boil rose petals and drink the concoction, it's really good as a weight reduction therapy.
Wow.
today onwards.
Sorry?
Today onwards.
If you have rose growing somewhere in the garden, use 1 rose every day, about 5 minutes in water, drink the concoction as tea. You can add some cinnamon to it. It'll add very nice flavor. Some lime, if you like. Great antioxidants, much more than coffee ever can offer you, by the way. Just tea concoctions of flowers is amazing. Anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancerous, Genda. You don't boil Genda. You just soak it in water, hot water, boiling water, for 45 minutes and drink. If you're doing this every day, you will never get cancer. By the way, Genda grows every single place and 12 months a year. One of the things you want to do when you're in India next is buy flowers from the mandi, dry them up, and carry them home. So flowers are very, very powerful healing substances. And I think there will be some kind of ability in all of these flowers to help you rise above excitement, so lower your blood pressure maybe with lotus. I don't know, I haven't studied that. Madness, confusion, stimulation, destruction. Is possible that these flowers have those physical effects. I haven't studied these particular flowers yet, but I'm sure there must be something to that effect as well. Once I study it, I will share it with
I've heard that oleander is poisonous. Maybe
you.
it's
I beg your
not.
pardon?
Oleander is supposed to be poisonous. What the leaf is poisonous.
Like I said, I haven't studied it yet. When I study it, I can share it with you. Okay.
I had somebody, well, once in London, and then recently a colleague over here, share like flower essences in these droplet, like flower tinctures in kind of a concentrated drop format for releasing, healing, all sorts of stuff. And there are like, I went to a couple of stores, very specific kind, and you really have to
Instead
find.
of buying flower tinctures, just pluck a flower from outside.
No, but it's just
And do
coming
it
back.
because you guys have the benefit of being in California, which is fairly good in terms of flowers.
Yeah, but there's this brand Bach flower remedies. So I remember years ago some acupuncturists had kind of recommended this for anxiety and all that stuff.
That brand, I had something exactly.
Yeah. So it is interesting how
Instead
even
of buying into marketing, let's look at the knowledge behind it, right?
It's just fun.
And अगर
so it's funny
हमने
that
माया के
correlation of
साथ
East
काम ही
and
करना
West.
है, तो दूसरों को माया के जाल में फंसना चाहिए. हम बना के बेचते हैं, उनको खरीदना चाहिए. अपने थोड़ी फंसना चाहिए. We should not get stuck in this. In simple home remedies. You will never need a blood pressure pill if you have hibiscus tea, for example. If somebody is prone to a little bit BP, instead of going on a pill, go on hibiscus tea. So you don't even, this is not even some fancy Ayurveda where you're doing husm and, leap and complicated processes. Just simple decoctions can help you a lot. Fair. So very deep. Flowers are very, very deep. These 5 flower arrows. We can talk about it forever, but I think we should move on. By the way, can anybody find the shlokas in the Lalita Sahasranam and refer to this?
The Panch related to the 5. Pancha Sankhyopacharini. Panch.
Let's read the Lalita Sahasranam. Shri Mata Shri Maharagyi Shrimat Singhasaneshwari Chidagnikunda Sambhuta Deva Karya Samudyata Udyat Bhanu Sahasrabha
Chaturbahu
Samanvita.
Swarupa Pasadya
Can you hear what you're saying? Exactly what we just read.
Raga Swarupa Pashadya Krodha Karangushodjala.
उससे पहले
Anger.
चतुर्बाहु 4 बाहों में विद्य है.
Right. It starts with Udyat Bhanu Sahasrabha. So here again in this shloka also they're talking about the countenance. Remember we talked about the autumn moon countenance?
Mhm.
And this is a different way of sharing that same red hue countenance. Udyat Bhanu. Just the Bhanu is sun that has just risen. Sahasrabha Chaturbahu Samanvita. Yeah. These are the four arms. The four arms also represent the four ministers, her ministers, whom she administers. Her ministers. Raga Swarupa Pashadya. राग राग का मतलब
Music.
Anger.
Desire.
Not anger.
Desire.
Rag,
Desire or wish.
राग स्वरूप पाषाढ़्या क्रोधाकारांकुशोज्ज्वला. Pash, the next weapon that we want to study is Pash. Pash is, remember what we said Pash is? Pash
Rope.
is
Rope.
a noose. Okay. The literal translation is, it's a noose. It is what is being carried by Yamraj. Like a loop of rope which is thrown at somebody or something to pull it closer.
राग द्वेष होता है.
राग द्वेष मतलब कि
Prem and Dushmani. Yeah.
very good. Now you're getting it. Rag dvesh is attachment and detachment. Too much attachment, love, dependence, intoxication. And dvesh, too much detachment. Maybe hate, maybe anger. Very good. राग स्वरूप पाषाढ़्या. पाश का स्वरूप क्या है?
Attachment.
राग.
because that's what you're trying to contain with the noose.
That can be the simplistic understanding of it. So the simplistic understanding that normal human beings can very easily understand, and I can just say it, knows to rein your desires in, and when your desires are not there, then obviously you are going to get to a higher state of existence. This very simple understanding of Raga Swarupa Shadya. If we delve deeper and say desire is the noose with which we are going to pull our object closer. Two very different things, right? Desire, we are making a noose out of desire only. Remember, if anybody has seen those 4 videos that I had posted, the 4th one was on mumukshutva, or the 3rd one, I don't remember. Anybody hear that video, mumukshutva?
Yeah.
Who's heard it?
I have. I'm just trying to recollect it.
Intense burning desire.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Mumukshutva is intense burning desire. If you have an intense burning desire, only then will you be able to achieve something. Because this is a very hard path and you will not be able to achieve it with just interest. No. Everybody in the class is interested in Soundarya Lahari. How can you make it happen? Somebody has to have an intense burning desire. Even if I'm scolding, somebody has to stand up to me. Poor Eshani. Right? So if you have an intense burning desire, then only you will be able to achieve a higher purpose, a higher goal. Without that desire driving you, you will not be able to achieve anything. That is why Raga Swarupa Pashadya, the meaning that Sunita is reading right now, is desires can be curbed through Pash, which is the weapon of the goddess. It's not that. Raga Swarupa Pashadya. The desire has to be the noose that helps us attain this objective. The noose has to be built of intense desire. And do you think it is easy to attain the skill of working a noose? How hard is it? How many times will we be able to reach it? Like, yeah, throw, catch, pull, sounds easy. Is it easy? It's a rope. To make a weapon out of a rope requires intense training and intense desire. It is said, and I said this last time also, it is said that if you only focus and meditate on the four arms of the goddess, you will realize moksha. You will break the barriers of Maya. And you can understand why, right? Just meditation on the four hands and only the four weapons of the god. You don't even have to look at her face, eyes, nose, lips, feet, nothing, not even the toe. You're not even looking at the goddess, just the weapons are so symbolic. Raga Swarupa Pashadya. And then next,
Krodhankara Kushojala.
Krodha, Akar, Krodha, Karankusha. Remember, the next weapon is Ankush. Krodha, Akar, Ankush. What does this mean? If Raga Swarup means this, then what does Krodh, Akar? This is description of the weapon, right? Raga Swarup, Pash, and Krodh ka Akar, Ankush. What does anger have to do with?
You have to, Ankush is to hold it, to stop it.
Think. If you think, you'll get it. Think a little bit.
Ankush is used to train an elephant, and your
Ankush is used
anger
to.
within can be used to train. Your anger can be used to channelize your path.
Anger has to be tamed. Anger represents all other sentiments. They need to be tamed.
Or we are probably using anger as a path to achieve realization, just like we are using the rag as a burning desire is used as a in a positive way. Krodh is also used as a in a positive way.
Yeah, or like when you were explaining what an ankush is, it's like with prodding, if it takes, first you use the soft part to prod the elephant, but if it doesn't still listen, you use the sharp part is there, and maybe the angered form of the goddess, or the goddess being angry, is a way to push you to grow further.
The goddess doesn't have any anger.
Without anger, you can't realize peace. So you
Of
have to
course,
experience.
the negatives always have to be there. Avidya has to be there for Vidya. Anger has to be there for peace, like that. Hate has to be there for love. Yes, for sure. And this is poetry. It's open to interpretation. So go ahead, interpret as you like. But growth, we have to think about growth as to why does growth happen? What is the genesis of growth? What is the root of growth? Who is the most angry person in mythology? We've talked about this.
Durvasa Rishi.
Durvasa Rishi.
So, what is the genesis? What is the root, the foundation of growth?
Ego.
Evolution.
Very good. So, Akar here has many meanings. Akar can be Krodh Rupi, right? In the form of growth. Akar also has the meaning of knowledge. Yeah. So, and Ankush, Krodha, Kara, Kushojwala. And Kushor, Ankushojwala. So, क्रोध से knowledge को purify करना. Yeah, I mean, I'm not disputing any other understanding that you may derive out of it. I'm just sharing another perspective. Growth is a ability to burn down status quo. When Lord Shiva gets angry, what happens? There is pralay. Everything as we know it gets destroyed, right? The only thing that survives is true knowledge. So Krodh is able to burn down all the fallacies, all the falsehoods, all the Maya, which is the sharp part of the Ankush. And only true knowledge remains. And we are able to realize evolution or change, where Lakshmi becomes Mahalakshmi. Gods become immortal because of Krodh. If Eklavya hadn't gotten angry, would he have become the kind of archer he had become? If Karn didn't get angry when Dronacharya refused to teach him, would he have become the archer that he became? So there are two kinds of anger. Anger that drives us forward and anger that drives us backwards. That's why with anger there is knowledge. Anger that drives us to seek knowledge and burns down our misinformation or fallacies or falsehoods. This is the job of an Ankush. To, to detract the person from false knowledge, burn that down, and help the person arrive at true knowledge and a better state of being. Does that make sense? Why growth? It is such a negative emotion. Why Krodhakara? Because sometimes burning desire is not enough. Sometimes you just have to get really, really angry. When you sometimes get angry, also, you will learn, you will grow. If it is in the right direction. That's why the qualification of towards knowledge.
Sorry, you said you broke, Shrinka. The connection was not stable. Can you repeat that? Sorry, the
I said
anger.
anger is also constructive if used towards the right knowledge.
Right.
Manurupekshu ko danda. पंच तन्मात्र सायक. मनुरूपेक्षु को दंड. दंड क्या है?
Punishment.
Done.
Punish.
Manurup ikshu ko danda. Ikshu is sugarcane. Bow. Manrupi so like we had क्रोधा अहंकारा इसमें क्या है मन है which is what we were talking about last time sankalpa the right object should be there मन से हमें सही चीज चाहिए होनी चाहिए otherwise the bow will not work for us or even if it works it will not give us the desired results संकल्प कहाँ करते हैं हम मन में ना what do we want मन में and पंच तन्मात्र सायका so in the Lalita Sahasranam also we have the description We've already talked about the 5. Do you want me to talk about that again? No? Tanmatras. Here the description is the 5 as tanmatras. So these are the 4 weapons that the goddess is described as. This is a physical description of the Kaanchi Kamakshi. Yeah. If you look at just the weapons, so think about it. There is this countenance that is being described, which is very beautiful. There are 2 other things that are described aside from the weapons, right? The small waist, the big ample bosom, we discussed it last time. And then there are weapons. Yeah, these are the 3 things that are being described in this shloka. And we know Kamakshi has many meanings. Kam meaning?
Saraswati? Khan.
Kam devta beta.
Acha, Kam Devta.
Calm, desire.
Desire. Kam means desire. Akshi means
Eyes.
eyes. So either it can be very beautiful eyes, yeah, desirous eyes, or it can be grace of the eyes for all your desires. Whatever is your kamna, the eyes will fulfill. Or it can mean wanting the grace of the eyes, desiring the grace of the eyes. You see, just the word Kamakshi can be interpreted in so many manners. Can you see the difference? ऐशानी क्या मिस हुआ बेटा?
My computer died somehow. I got Kama Akshi, beautiful eyes. That's one way to interpret it, and then I lost.
Okay, Raman, can you help her?
Yeah, Kamakshi can be also, it's grace for the eyes for all desires. That means the eyes of the Kamakshi can fulfill all the desires. It can also mean wanting the grace of the eyes. That means having the grace of Devi with you all the time.
So see how just 2 words, Kam and Akshi, can be interpreted in so many different ways. One is beautiful eyes, desirous eyes. Second is all the desires can be fulfilled by the eyes. Third is desirous of the eyes or desirous of the grace of the eyes. No right and wrong. All are true. That's the beauty of Sanskrit. You can look at it any which way, and any interpretation is absolutely correct. That's why it's called Sanskrit, perfectly formed. No matter how you look at it, from which angle, it will still be perfect. Some perfect, Krit. Or some can also mean whole, and we can go on. So, Kamakshi itself means so many different things. Anyways, from an individual perspective, we are talking about dualistic interaction. We are talking about the goddess being separate. It's not like inside me, outside of me. Yeah. So this entire stanza and this entire prayer is set in the space of Dvaita philosophy, not Advaita, Dvaita philosophy. So when we are looking at the goddess, that means goddess is the destiny and we are the seekers. What could one individual be seeking?
Could be moksha, grace.
मोक्ष ग्रेस वो तो बड़ा ऊपर का काम हो गया नीचे आ जाए थोड़ा how about sex kids
Yeah.
marriage food money yeah so this vision of the goddess that is being described here and the philosophy behind Kamakshi इतना तुम पढ़ाई करके आए कामाक्षी सिंपल मीनिंग नहीं बताया मुझे the message behind this physical depiction of Kamakshi is just this. All human desires can be fulfilled through the grace of Kamakshi. So, wish fulfilling vision of the goddess. I'll say that again. Wish fulfilling vision of the goddess, or desire fulfilling vision of the goddess. And in crass terms, it is said that general opinion is that whatever you wish for, kama or kamna, will be granted in this by this form of the goddess. When you have grace of Kamakshi, all your desires will be fulfilled. If you are desirous of the grace of Kamakshi, you will still have everything. Both meanings are true. Make sense? I want the whole world, Kamakshi can grant it. I just want her grace, the whole world is yours. Either which way. However you hold your nose, the answer is all physical, material, spiritual, ethereal, any kind of desire a human being can have, including spiritual, can be fulfilled in this form. Here, Adi Shankaracharya introduces A physical form of the goddess, which is very much established in a temple, that has the ability to fulfill your wishes. And this physical form is suggested for meditative purposes. It is very hard for a human being to just think of the feet, as we were discussing in the previous stanzas, or think of the hands of grace, or it's very hard. So let's give him something physical. Let's give them a murti. And just meditating on this murti will be enough. If you meditate on the weapons, what will happen? Freedom from Maya. Yeah, we've just understood that. Okay. Complete realization, freedom from Maya, absolute knowledge, truth. But this is not all. There are also worldly desires that an individual may have. What if I want to become the president of the country or the prime minister? How are the Pash and Ankush and the bow and arrows? How are they helping me? No, they're not helping me. There is more to the description than just the 4 weapons, right? But just to finish the 4 weapons, okay, each weapon also represents a certain minister of the Lalita Devi, right? So let me just give you that uh, basic knowledge before we delve into philosophy again. So Pash is upper left arm. Ashwarudha Devi. And you remember this this name you have heard because Ashwarudha. You've heard this. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Upper left arm, Ashwarudha Devi. And this is the Pash. Then Ankush is in the upper right arm, Sampatkari Devi. Lower left arm is the bow or sugarcane. Shyamala Devi or Mantrini. She has 2 names. And lower right arm is the 5 arrows, and that's represented by Varahi. Remember we met Varahi some shlokas ago? Varaha, remember?
Yeah, 6 children.
Very good. Yeah, so from Again, if you want to just do dualistic puja, when we do uh, just tantra, then we want to invoke these goddesses for the benefits that we've just talked about. There are two spaces which are really highlighted aside from the forearms. One is the small waist, which is adorned by a golden belt with small little bells on it, and an ample bosom, which is also adorned by you can see the gate because there is a big necklace going around it, and it's showing the huge bulge. And the bulge is slight bit forward. Remember we talked about it last time?
Mm-hmm.
A forward bulge. The heaviness of the ample bosom brings the gate a little bit forward. So in the previous shloka, we talked about gross creation, right? If you remember, the previous shloka is about progeny, about fertility, aside from other things. Yeah. So if we were to talk about it from chakra point of view, the previous shloka was Swadhisthana. In this shloka, the highlight starts from Manipur. All creation in the world, every single creation in the world requires one element quintessentially. What is that element? Can you tell me? And literally, technically, element.
Matter?
Element beta, air, water, fire, earth.
Earth?
ऐसा ही फ्री में मार रहे हो क्या?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Space, fire. Water, I believe. Water? No?
You need a soul.
Of course, aside from that.
Space, ether,
Agni.
fire. Fire, you mean.
Fire is the most important element. That is why we have so many fire sacrifices. Of all the elements, fire is the most important. This is not the space to talk about it, but remind me to tell you about that some other time. Heat is the source of all creation. Right? Literally, sun is the source of all creation, which is heat. If we talk about procreation, heat, right? You try and hatch an egg, heat.
Hmm.
You try and change your body. How do you change your body?
Burn up the fat, which requires
Heat.
burning. Yeah.
Heat is the source of all change, all creation. Or rather, let me not say creation, all change. Anywhere there is transformation, you will have to have heat. Let's talk about erosion. The wind is cutting into a rock. But what is getting generated for that change to happen? Heat. Ocean is cutting into rock. What is literally happening? Heat. No change is possible without heat. Transformation is only possible with heat. Therefore, fire is the most important element of all the elements because it actually helps us transform. Where is heat in the body? What is the source of heat in the body?
Digestion.
Core, yeah? Your core is the source of heat in the body. Heat has some prerequisites. You need to have some matter, earth, and you need to have air for the heat to flourish, correct? Yeah. But heat itself is the special thing that makes all of this happen. Just matter and air coming together, will it create fire?
No.
Right? So it is a different element altogether. It may have a prerequisite of earth, it may have a prerequisite of air, but just air and earth, you're breathing every day, you're eating every day. Can you transform your body? You can't even feed your body if the digestion is not working. Right? So heat is a separate element altogether, which is very required for any transformation to happen. So earth is quintessential, air is quintessential, but even if all the other elements are there and heat is missing, then we will not have any change happen. So physical heat, the seat of physical heat is the core. Yeah, your Manipur, your waist. And because there is so much heat in it, it is so small, almost negligible. And then for that fire to really roar, there is an ample bosom, which is the space of,
Heart.
sorry,
Space of heart.
air.
Oh,
When you're talking elements, you don't bring in heart.
sorry.
So for anything you want to do, any idea, any desire that you have, the physical form of the goddess is providing for it. The small of the waist and the voluptuousness of the bosom. Aside from the physical seed of having a human being, aside from being born, everything else that we achieve in life is a function of heat. And how far we are able to take it is a function of the expanse above it. Heart. Anybody with a very strong Manipur will be very, very physically successful. Yeah, Angela? You remember this?
Yep.
If you want to be physically very successful, very powerful, very rich, the source of that is Manipur. And the ability to feed those small little baby plants or your ideas or your desires and to help them fructify into big trees or take form, you need the expansive space of air or you need the nurturing of the mother. So Adhishthan is only engaged in the forming of the embryo. Where does the embryo grow? In the stomach. And then where does the baby grow from? The bosom, right? The breast. So this is taking whatever ideas you have, whatever desires you have, physical, spiritual, intellectual, from their core conception to fruitification. That is the symbology of the small of the waist and the ample bosom. And the intent of feeding your desires because bent forward. ठीक है राजा? So we'll stop here today.